What's up everyone, Steve here again from RC Tanks and Trucks 24/7. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. There's heaps of cool stuff just like this. So you would have seen this on the channel a fair bit lately, and that's for good reason. It's turned out really nice, and a lot of people are interested and asking if they could do it themselves, and I don't see why not. Now let's quickly go around it before I go through the prices of all the parts here and there. So the body is stock apart from the hole here for the engine and for the rear exhaust here, but that is about it. There's nothing else externally that you change on this if you want to do this mod yourself. So, you know, in that case it looks fairly stock. You could even raise the body if you don't want to cut the wood out there, or put a nice little, you know, hood scoop on there. It's up to you. You could have different exhausts, but this is how I've done it. So as you can see, it's pretty stock. I did, last video I had for this was the drift wheels, or it wasn't really drift tires, it was just duct tape, and that's about it. But I might put a fifth wheel up here so I can tow a trailer, but that'll be in a future video. So let's quickly break this down, take the body off. There we go. Now the prices will be in US dollars, but the first one, and I'll go from the most expensive really, but for example the car, I'm rounded up a little bit here, it's about $369, let's just say $370, but for an example how much more we get gypped here in Australia, the car is $670. And next up is the engine, and that is $370 as well. Now this is all at the time of this filming, so it could change up or down depending. So $370 for the FSL 200 4-stroke 2-cylinder motor. Really nice little unit there, reliable, runs well. Have a couple of these, you would have seen it in this crawler as well. Really good motor, they run fantastic. Now the next item, I am actually using the Noble NB4, and that is that guy there. Now you might have a radio, so this is a big chunk out of the price. So at the moment that Noble is roughly $180, so bear that in mind. And if you have a radio, there's $180 straight off this list. Now the engine accessories, so the engine accessories includes like the air filter, and also like the clutch and the clutch belt and all that kind of cool stuff. I've added it up to around about $120, thereabouts. Servos are next. With this particular build you use 4 servos, so you've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, so you've got the throttle and brake. The steering is just here, just there. Reverse servo for forward and reverse, and also a servo which you can eliminate if you have an electronic switch, but it's a little servo that it pushes down on the button, and that's it. Now this can change massively depending on the quality of servos, and you might have servos as well. You can already use the one that comes in the kit if you want, but I had some other ones there and I just put $60. Okay, next up is all the metal, like the brackets, the alloy and all that kind of stuff here. Obviously you need it to sit the motor on like a plate of some sort. I've just used the aluminium plate just down there, and I've got various other aluminium bits here, little plates there as well, and brackets and L brackets and all that kind of stuff. A bit of Meccano here and there, but you know, that all adds up. You know, if you don't have it, you need to buy it. I needed to buy some of it, but that was around about $60. And like I said, you might have it in your arsenal, in your spare parts. I had some, but you just got to add a little bit on top. Gearbox. Now the gearbox here, and I get asked all this, is the Revo 3.3 transmission. Why do I use it? It has 2 speeds forward and 2 speeds reverse, and it also does have a brake. So that is why I use this. Use different transmissions if you want, but I will use this one, and there's also other ones I will use in future builds. But it works, it's reliable, and you know, the gear ratios are okay. This probably could change up a bit. You can also get a steel spur gear if you really want to make it a little bit stronger. So next up I had Misc Electronics, and that was $50, and I just had like this button here, different lengths of wire, gauges and thicknesses of wire. Maybe you need to solder some plugs on, all that kind of stuff. I put that for about $50, but you know, you might have that all lying around, so you know, take it as it comes. Now batteries are, this particular build you have to use 2 batteries. You can obviously wire it up if you want differently, but I've got a nickel metal hydride powering the servos and a LiPo powering the starter motor, because it requires a 3-cell to, you know, give it enough juice to crank the little motor over. Now I put that in there for about $40, give or take. You could have batteries yourself, I did, but I'm just putting it on the list to, you know, give you an understanding of what it costs. Fuel as well, I got for about $40 here in Australia. I think that 5 litre was about $65 for the 16% nitro. That's another thing, give or take. It might be different to where you are, but just put a price on it. The exhaust around about 38 bucks, but I just rounded up to 40 bucks. So the exhausts are there. You can get different ones, but these are about $19 to $20 each at the moment. So $40 for the exhaust. There's also different ones you can get as well. Last but not least, and there's probably some that I've missed, are the drive shaft. So the drive shaft, because it's only rear wheel drive, it kind of utilizing Traxxas Revo center drive shaft there, and where I got it from, I believe that was I think around about 30 bucks, but it includes some yokes and all that kind of stuff. So I just rounded up 30 bucks, that stuff, and like I said, you can get it cheaper if you really wanted to, I guess, but that's what I found it for. Now total for all that I think was $1,450 US, so that's just over $2,000 Australian. So it does add up, but like I said, you can take a massive chunk out of that. For example, if you had the car already, that's 370 bucks less, or if, you know, generally a lot of you guys will have your radio gear and servo, so that's over 200 bucks just there. But a lot of you guys asked how much it was and would I build it or would I sell it. Now if I sold it, it'd be well over $2,000 Australian, as you can see, just in parts alone, and let alone time to build it. Just wanted to give you guys an understanding of how much it would cost, and yeah, you can build it yourself. No issues at all. It just takes a lot of tinkering. And you saw on my builds, there's about 5 or 6 videos, I believe, you know, to get it to where it is. And it does work, and it works really well in my opinion, not just because I built it, but I think it does work really well. And it's also set out, and I think laid out quite nicely, and it looks fairly stock if you were to get these fuel tanks nicely high, you know, nice level with the carburetors. All the servos are kind of lined up nice and perpendicular to this and that, and it all seems to work well. The catch can works well, and it performs pretty well as well. Next up, I'll try and see if I can dummy up a fifth wheel to tow a trailer. I've got a big trailer there that I'd like to see if I can tow around, but that thing alone weighs about 10 to 12 kilos. Yeah, it's for all aluminium, very heavy. But yeah, that was it. Didn't want to make it too long, but you can build it, you can do it, put your mind to it, you can do it. You can do anything really if you want to, as long as you've got patience, which I kind of, it runs a little bit thin, getting a little bit old now, so my patience isn't there. Patience, obviously it costs money, and time. Time costs, well, there's no cost of time, is it? But I have this small YouTube channel, and you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, so I enjoy doing this, so it's part of the fun. So any questions, guys, leave the questions down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll leave the link for all these parts down below. Thanks, guys.